did have a question for you.
Yeah.
Me and Eddie were talking about the other day.
Yeah.
This is so random. So say you're on a plane.
Yeah.
Both pilots.
Okay.
Done.
Oh, shit.
Out.
All right.
And you get on the headset. You have ATC and Air Force One helping you. Do you think you can land the plane?
Air Force One? Wait,
You have Air Force One helping you
Air
out.
Force
You have
One?
ATC and you got Air Force One following you, explaining everything. That's the prompt. That is the prompt.
Hold on. Why do I have Air Force One? Why do I have the
'Cause you have
president's plane?
lives. You
Why
have
do I have the
lives.
president's plane with me though?
Lives.
Sorry, that's the
Lives
thing.
are at stake.
That's the thing that I'm caring about
I
most.
don't. No, I agree. Because you know what the best part is? I answered Eddie with that statement.
Yeah.
I went, "Why is Air Force One?"
Why is
he's
the
like,
president
he's
right
like,
next to me?
he's like, "Am I confusing Air Force One with something else?" I'm like, "100% you are."
You for sure
But
are.
now you made the question that much more appealing.
Like if I,
Now you have Air Force One there to help.
dude, if the Air Force One
What
is
are they
next to
gonna
me. If Air Force One is next to me, that means that in some vicinity, the refuel plane is next to me too.
Yeah.
And if they can refuel, they can get the people off the plane before we crash. Like I just need to keep
You
it going.
don't think you can land the plane?
I mean, I probably could give it a shot, but like, I don't know. It'd be tough with wind and all these other factors would make it really difficult.
Eddie thinks he can land the plane.
It depends. You need. There's a variable
Can I
that
be
you
honest with
need
you?
to know.
I think I could land the plane.
You probably could.
I think I can. Do I think I'm? I think does the plane come out unscathed? No.
No.
Landing gear broken.
It's like in Top Gun Maverick where they're just
100% or,
grinding
dude,
on the runway.
100%.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that if I could save the lives.
Sure. You know, I think that's the one variable is what type of runway am I working with? Like,
Yeah.
am I going with the super long one where I have enough to get down and brake, or am I like, oh shit, I got to land and brake? Like, if you ever seen like Nepal's air.
Oh, dude,
that is not even a quarter mile. I don't think
You're not landing there.
I'm not
There's
landing.
no chance.
So
And you know what the best part is? What's up, guys?
what's up?
Welcome to Chop It Up. We cold open around here. I didn't want to warn you, but we cold open. We cold
like
open for me and Eddie's show.
Yeah.
And we cold open for this one. I think cold opens are so much funnier.
It works.
Because how easy do you feel? That's what the pod
It gets
needs to
you
feel
into
like.
the mood.
Exactly.
It gets you right into the vibe. You kind of work your way in. I like it.
That was fun. And you were tapped
See,
in.
that's what I do, man. It's directing, and you got to think about it. You always got to be working on what's going to happen next. What are all these variables? What can go wrong? What can go right?
True. But hello, welcome to the first episode of Chop It Up with Peter Gibbs. He is a director at Lake Elsinore Storm, Tyne Sports Network. He's done news anchoring. He's had his own podcast at RCC. He's done anything in a production room I feel like you have worn the hat of.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean,
And you do PA. You do it all, man.
I try. It's all about broadening that skill set, you know, trying to get as many reps as I can with just about anything that I can do.
And, dude, honestly, the opportunity we have at TSN helps so much, too.
It's
so cool.
You know, going into that, I had already been with the Storm, and so I'm thinking, okay, it's not going to be the toughest thing, right? And it isn't. It's not the toughest thing, but just knowing that it's at an ESPN level broadcast makes it have a little bit more pressure, you know?
I think for me, it's knowing that there's someone like me at 8 p.m. on a Friday night watching Cal State Fullerton women's basketball or men's basketball, whatever, baseball, like knowing that someone like me is just sitting on ESPN Plus looking for something, and I'm that voice for them. Now I'm the voice. You're showing that.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we get to be like talent together. This is kind of cool,
dude. This is gonna be our audition reel at this point.
Robbie is gonna watch this like a giddy little kid, bro. If you don't know who Robbie is, Robbie Loya is the main. I think he's the main broadcaster at Cal State Fullerton. It can't be anyone else.
It's Jonathan Rifkind and him. Those two have kind of built it from the ground, I feel.
If you listen to multiple sports, it's Robbie. If
For
you listen
sure.
to one, you probably have your guy.
Yeah.
Like baseball is Robbie and Mike. Soccer's Mike. I think basketball's Rifkin.
Yeah. I mean, Rifkin, he did
Hopefully
soccer.
me and Robbie become women's basketball. Because that was a good 2-game run we had.
I think you guys would kill it.
I think so, too.
It's all about knowing what sport you're talking about and really just kind of giving that extra little bit of info that, you know, like I'm not as well knowledge. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
You're
as
not well
much.
versed.
Yeah. Compared to you when it comes to basketball, like baseball for sure, I probably know more than just about
tennis.
Tennis.
Dude, that's what we're doing right now. We could this could be put over the tennis broadcast, and I don't think people would know the difference.
No, probably not.
If I started saying the name, like Milena Gevorgian, she's cool. She's on the marketing team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's from Armenia. See,
yes, I love the tennis team. I did kind of the stats for all the teams in the spring sports show, and it really kind of was so interesting how many international players we have just on the tennis team alone.
Dude, that's how every school is. Tennis is
True.
Tennis is just international. It's like soccer. Tennis. If you look at the soccer team too,
yeah,
there's a lot of international players for those two sports. But this is a baseball show. We gotta corral it in.
I got the jersey.
We both got a jersey.
Yeah.
We're both not repping our teams.
I
think we should state that right now.
Fair.
Because you work for the Storm.
It's true.
And then you wear the Padres jersey. People are going to think you're a Padre guy.
I gotta say, I feel that with any sports league, you're allowed to have your favorite team and then a team you like from the opposite conference.
I like that.
And so, I'm an Angels guy first and foremost, but exactly. Got the Angels jersey there, but
I wore it because you were on the show.
I appreciate that. See, when you told me you were going to wear that too, I wanted to say...
and the fact that it's a Zach Neto of all players.
What a guy, man.
This is going to be the late night finds in like 5 years. I'm going to go to an Angel game, and he's going to be on like the Tigers. Think about this jersey in like 15 years. Probably not the Tigers, but think about this jersey in like 15, 20 years. It's going to be one of those like, that guy has a Zach Neto jersey on. Because let's be real, I don't think Zach Neto is going to be a household name.
I don't know, man.
10 to 15 years.
He's going to be good.
I love him. I'm so happy he eliminated the leg kick.
True. The Angels aren't very good when it comes to making adjustments, but they made a good one with him and changing that up.
Well, dude, his two-strike approach was the right approach.
Yeah.
And I feel like me and my brother were talking about it. He played baseball at UCSB.
Yep.
So it's like he's seen a pretty good level of ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was there when Shane Bieber was there. He's seen a couple guys go through there. And he was talking to me, he's like, why do it different? Why at all? If you're going to do the big leg pick, commit all 3 pitches.
Yeah.
If you're going 2 strikes, going to do the lower leg kick, just do the lower leg kick. Like,
sure.
You got to pick one. And
I think
ever since he did, I feel like he's been way more consistent.
Definitely. It's all about timing too. The leg kick is so hard to time up properly, but at the same time, it's all a mentality thing. That's the toughest part with any sport, especially baseball, is just trying to figure out how you're mentally going to do these things. And so, like, you got to train your brain to do the same mechanic over and over while also thinking, okay, what type of pitch am I going to see here? How am I going to attack that?
Yeah, this guy throws 102 with a slider that's 85 and his changeup's 90.
Yeah.
So I got to think about my big ass leg kick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is tough for sure with a leg kick, but like you've seen people, they're able to do it. Aaron Judge for sure has the big leg kick as well, and so
I feel like his big leg kick looks bigger because he's a massive human being.
He's taller than this garage, man.
He's like 6'8".
Yeah.
He's as tall as Brendan.
Yeah.
At my party, he's as tall as B, man.
Yep.
It's like, that guy's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Kyron Paris has the same hitting coach as him.
Yeah.
And they have that. It looks a lot bigger on Kyron Paris than
For
it
sure.
does Judge because it fits Judge's body. But, man, that 14-day span where Kyron Paris was the Angels' Aaron Judge was kind of cool.
I never checked it.
We were supposed to check.
I needed to see what Kyron Paris was doing since he got sent down. But, baseball is such a weird sport where you can get hot for 2 weeks, you can cool off for 2 weeks, and then it can be a simple change. It can be just a minor tweak of where you're standing in the batter's box. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong, I know you hate him because he's on the Cubs, I'm sure, but I saw a video of just kind of breaking down his swing from last year compared to this year, and the big change for him is staying more stable with his stance. And so he was really moving his head and his body was swaying towards the pitcher, and that millisecond is the difference between
the year he's having now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just any type of change can affect you one way or another. You never know.
Dude, and that's the thing. Like, it's so different from any other sport. Like, you don't have that in basketball, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
you're not going to adjust your shooting
You can tweak
motion.
where, like, what pocket you're coming out of. I'm not going to switch my whole form every time. Like, I'm not going to... I might change my feet a little, but it's like baseball. It's like that tiny change just affects everything. And it's just... Baseball's such, like, a millisecond sport.
Yep.
And it's like a series of one-on-ones. It's like it's a team sport. Don't get me wrong, but it's you and that pitcher.
And going to pitchers, too, the adjustment that you have to make there, too. Like, if you put just a fractional amount more pressure on, like, your middle finger when you're trying to throw a curveball, that could be the difference between 2-3 inches of horizontal break.
And 200 RPM.
That, too, yeah.
That could increase your spin rate, which... Man, some of these spin rate guys are hilarious.
It's amazing seeing all the spin rates and all the stats that have come out over the last decade or so. Baseball has turned into a very analytical sport, and I love it at times. I love the normal feel as well, but no number is more impressive than the RPMs, in my opinion, because that kind of really shows how good of a pitcher you are, or at least when it comes to how good your stuff is.
Yeah, but also I hate diving into those numbers so much because it takes away from guys who just flat out are good. Like, yes, I agree with you, but I also think result matters more.
Yeah.
Where it's like, remember when Schwarber was batting .220 but batting leadoff, and everyone was okay with it because it just kind of made sense.
Yep.
And stuff like that. Like, baseball is such an anomaly of a sport. It's such a nerd sit in your chair and look at the number sport, but sometimes you can't just numbers your way onto the field. I mean, we'll get into our first topic with that with the Red Sox, where it's
for
like,
sure
on the paper, that trade looks okay when you just look at the dollar signs and the value you're getting out of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you realize who it is and who you're getting back, I think it's one of the worst trades in baseball history. Devers for... Is it Devers for Hicks? Is that what we're calling it at this point? Hicks and picks? like Harrison's okay. That's the lefty, right?
Yeah, Kyle Harrison, he's
all right.
He's got potential, I think.
And they have their number 3 prospect.
Yep.
But it's like, if you're getting rid of Rafi Devers, you have to get number 1. You have to get a top prospect.
That was the thing that I was very intrigued by when I saw the trade, because last year I saw the Giants' number 1 prospect, Bryce Eldridge, play against the Storm. He was there with San Jose in the first half, and this guy is super tall, mashes the ball like crazy, and he projects well as a great hitter one day, and the guy probably will get called up at some point this season, I would imagine. Maybe not now with Devers being on the team, because once Chapman comes back healthy, you kind of don't have a spot for Eldridge to play. But getting the money off the books for the Red Sox is certainly the biggest point for them. And I guess it's more so just the locker room. It's hard to mesh with so many different people, and communication is always a struggle, especially at an organizational standpoint, because if you're a general manager, if you're a manager, you have to deal with, at minimum, 25 players, 26 now, and on top of that, you have coaches, you've got guys that are moving up and down, you have injured players like Bregman, who is on the team, not playing, but he's sitting on the bench, and so...
But also, Bregman, like, kind of showed that willingness to go play second.
Yeah.
And that whole situation with third, first DH was just so messy.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of talked about it while we were playing catch. Like, not to be too woke, but I think I'm going to side with the player.
Yeah.
And I've had so many people, I'm like, man, Devers is such a blank. Say whatever you want, whatever word you want to put in there. Just like, he's so annoying. He's so, like, how could he not want to just do this for his team?
Yeah.
Why is he willing to just go do it for the Giants then? That's where it's like, it was a mix of him probably being like, well, before the season you told me this, and then camp I'm getting asked about this, and now you want me to go do this. Like, why can't it just be one solid thing? You pay me this much money, let me know what I'm going to do, because I got to switch gloves, I got to find new things. Like, I can so see where the player's coming from, but also there's that little bug in the back of your brain where it's like, how about you just do what your coach asks you to? It's such a hard mix, but also it's just like, you're telling me you couldn't have gone to the other 29 teams and you couldn't have got something better than... I'm a Cardinal fan, dude. I know the Jordan Hicks thing. He makes you think, oh, I throw a 103 sinker. Oh, my sliders knock out 6.3 ERA. Like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, the Jordan Hicks thing will never work. He will never work. Not everyone who throws 103 with movement is good.
Yeah.
He's not good. Harrison and...
Well, they had two other players.
The
one of them
prospect's good.
That prospect is mashing, and the other guy that they got is probably just gonna be right now he's a minor league reliever. Those guys don't really do much.
Dude, how many minor league relievers have you had to put on screen? Guys that'll never see anything but a Denny's diner as a host, man.
If you're a minor league,
the thing is, I respect the baseball grind so much, but man, so many of those guys just, you're gonna go work as a server in the off season.
If you're a minor league reliever, and you haven't, I think of it
not your second career.
I think of it like this: if you're a reliever in low A, high A, even sometimes double A, you're not going to do much. But if you're like a starter that gets converted once you get to AA, AAA, then you may have a chance of making the majors.
Liberatore, guys like that, like even like Doval and stuff. Like these guys come up as closers because it's like, you don't really have the stamina to go 6. But man, you have some knockout stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you don't find. But if you have knockout stuff, you're not in the A-ball area. I feel like pitchers get pushed through so much quicker than hitters.
It depends. I know with the Storm, they for sure have been pushing a few guys up, and so.
But also, that's just that dad's organization. They need pitching.
A little bit. They've got some guys that I think are at the AA level at the highest right now. Nothing really coming up in AAA or any veteran AA guy that's been there since last year, and so certainly. With all the trades the Padres have made, they've kind of lost a few core prospects that would be in AA or AAA right now. And so it's all just these younger guys that project to make the team in like 2-3 seasons rather than guys that could help the club now, or like a Jackson Merrill who was in Lake Elsinore about 3 seasons ago, then got called up and made it to the team within 2 years.
He's so awesome.
I have his jersey right now. My story with him, the reason why I'm wearing it, because I don't think I really finished up the whole Angel fan, Padre fan thing.
I also have to give my AL team, and I think it's going to surprise you.
Okay. So I'll finish my part here real quick.
We should probably finish the Devers thing and then get to this.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So
let's go for
who were the other two? So it's the number 3 prospect, Hicks, Harrison.
Yeah, and then just some throwaway player, some minor league reliever.
You're not... That trade is bad. And think about the fans. We know a Red Sox fan who was not okay, man.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, Brady. I'm so sorry, bro.
My take on this trade, to summarize it pretty quickly, is you pay all this money to a guy who has been with the team. He's won a World Series. He's looking just to make his money. You know, his legacy is solidified. It's hard to win a World Series. But the problem is...
hardest thing in the sport. Just casually.
Winning a championship, really difficult. But you expect a player like that to show more commitment, more willingness to do whatever the team needs. And I think having won a World Series, Devers feels that it's just all about him now and get his stats. And that's fine. Like
he feels he doesn't owe the organization anything.
Yeah.
He got them their ring.
Mm-hmm.
He had stayed he's been there forever,
yeah.
dude. And I think he was leaving. Like that contract needed to get moved, whether he demanded or trade or not.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's just the return. It's the return, man.
The fact that
I saw Jordan Hicks in that trade is what did it for me.
Sure. And Jordan Hicks, my assumption is he'll be moved back to the bullpen. The Red Sox need some arms in that area.
Don't fall for the Jordan Hicks trap. Boston, please. He's not good. I promise you he's not good.
But you look at it, and I saw this one video. It was kind of just talking about aging corner infielders. You have like Pujols, Miguel Cabrera. You've got Nolan Arenado even, who kind of...
I was like, is he going to say it?
I didn't want to have to say it, but You know,
Goldie.
you see these guys, they start to slowly tail off as they get older and older, and reflexes are hard, especially at those positions. First base, you can kind of get away with it, but Devers wanting to play third, he already wasn't a good defender. He wasn't going to do much else.
You don't say not a good. He was a bad
He was
defender.
bad, yeah.
He is not a good third baseman. I don't know if the move to first would have been much better, but dude, your teammate's knee exploded.
True.
Like, my dog,
Just
Tristan
pick up a
Casas' knee is
glove.
not okay. Pick up the glove,
Yeah.
dude. You're not. I'm never paying a DH $300 million unless his name is Shohei Ohtani or eventually Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay somebody that much money to DH. You have to be of value to me in 3 areas: fielding, on the plate, and on the base pass.
Sure.
That's just me. Like, I know you're not gonna get that out of Devers and stuff. So like, but you pay that guy because he deserves to get paid.
Yeah. If you're averaging more than 35 home runs a year, then sure, I'm fine with
get
anything.
it, but like, man, you gotta pick up it's such a necessity.
Just go be a captain. You know, you're the highest paid player. You're supposed to be the one who's willing to sacrifice whatever. On the other side of things, the Giants, it's a really good trade for them in the short term, I feel. They have a solid team this year. They're going to be building a few extra pieces, I'm sure, coming up from the minors, and so
I'm so excited for Contenders Pretenders, dude.
it's going to be good. It's going to be a good segment.
But I think we talked about the Red Sox this whole time. I think for the Giants, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a great. I think it shows that Buster wants it.
For sure. He's made a good splash his first couple seasons of being GM over there. And you look at who they got rid of. Sure, Kyle Harrison, I expect him to be a solid pitcher one day. He's going to learn his changeup with the Red Sox. He's going to become probably maybe at his best a number 2 pitcher. He is more of a mid-rotation type of guy.
I think he'll end up being there 3 or 4.
Probably.
He
they
might
have
get,
some
he
talent.
might get a playoff start,
Yeah.
but he's not going to be the guy you want.
Definitely not. And the prospects that they got aren't anything great yet. I think their number 3 prospect, I think it's James Tibbs. He's solid.
Yeah, it is Tibbs.
He's solid and could probably pan out well at some point. But really, this, in the long term, will maybe even itself out just because of the financial flexibility the Red Sox have. But right now, you got to look at it as just an awful trade. And out of nowhere, and you didn't shop the guy. Any other team?
Dude, here's the thing: if you take 20% of that money, I'm a Cardinal fan.
Yeah.
I was like, imagine Devers in a Cardinal jersey, if they eat, dude. Because we have so much to take anyone.
Oh yeah.
Go take Brendan Donovan.
There you go.
Take, if you want to go younger. I love Victor Scott, but like
Mhm.
Victor Scott's a guy that you can mold into an everyday center fielder who is going to steal you 50, 60 bags a year.
Yeah.
I take anyone on the Cardinals roster. And you know how many teams would say that if you would take 30% of the money? Take 20 to 30% of the money on and go, and for these middling teams,
Mhm.
like the Cardinals, maybe even like...
The ones that are
Or think about
a
the
star away.
Mariners. The Mariners getting him.
The Mariners' third baseman is hard to name most days.
I don't know him.
Ever since Kyle Seager left, I
Yes.
don't know who it is.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the Mariners infield, if I could name it,
Dude.
J.P. Crawford, Jorge
Hey,
Polanco.
first of all, ew.
Yeah,
J.P. Crawford.
yeah.
I'm fact checking him.
Jorge Polanco, I would imagine, is now back in the infield.
Polanco, dude.
And I think it's no longer Ty France at first. They don't have Rowdy Tellez. They don't play Cal Raleigh over there.
I love
It might be like Dominic Canzone or however his name is pronounced. I think that guy is probably playing a little bit.
So first of all, you weren't even. This is crazy. At shortstop is Dylan Moore.
Okay, well, today is probably a day off for J.P. Crawford.
I think J.P. Crawford's bad at baseball.
He's not, well, I think he could get some votes for the All-Star game, to be honest. But
Really?
yeah, he's
like
not been great to start, but he's been coming on the last month or so.
I've never been a J.P. Crawford guy, but I think it's just because like when you look at his last couple of years, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's J.P. Crawford. Second base is Polanco.
Mm-hmm.
First base is sometimes Rowdy Tellez.
Yep.
So yeah, so first base is Rowdy Tellez. Dude, this team is so fun.
I don't know how they're almost 500, and I don't know how they were leading the division. I get their pitching is elite.
It's just their pitching.
But the fact their offense is just carried by like 3 guys.
Third base is Ben Williamson.
Jerry Dipoto is their general manager. He was the GM with the Angels. That guy, I don't get what he does. I really don't get it.
And the crazy thing is, I was going to say that the Mariners are my AL team, and I don't even think I can say that after not knowing who their third baseman is.
That would have been a surprise for sure. And then the fact you say you don't like J.P. Crawford, I don't get how you can like him.
I love J.P. Crawford, but I love the idea. I love what he is this year, because this year is who we thought he was going to be for the last 4 seasons.
Sure.
When he was batting .230, and you're just like, where's the bat we fell in love with? Because the glove's sick, and he's awesome out there. I love Jorge Polanco. I love Julio Rodriguez. Cal is the best hitting catcher I think I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Ooh, even more than Posey?
Behind Posey. Depends how the rest of this year goes. This might be the best hitting catcher year I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
If he keeps going. Because, dude, wasn't he leading the league in home runs?
He's in the top 3 right now. He's very close.
Like, he took the lead at one point. I remember seeing that post, and I was like, yeah, it's because I did a road trip to Seattle. And me and Ken Griffey Jr. have the same birthday.
That's awesome.
So I was just like, you know what?
It's all
I've loved Felix Hernandez when he was there. Like, Mariners have always been that AL team for me. But, man, the J.P. Crawford thing is just like now he is becoming who was foretold. But it's like, where was this when we were in the playoffs? Like, think like when they were on their playoff runs. It's like, dude, JP, if you could like hit over 250 and field the way you do, you'd be awesome.
It's hard to hit in the playoffs. You're getting the other guy's best. You're getting the other guy's best every time, but you need your bigger named players, and he's one of their core guys.
Man,
you need those guys
J.P. Crawford is a name brand player in the MLB.
He's one of the guys who gets his jersey sold at Mariner games, which that means he's in the core.
Should I buy a J.P. Crawford jersey?
I don't think you should. I'd highly recommend not doing that.
All right, Julio. Probably Julio. It's probably Julio.
Julio, even Randy, I would pick.
Or Logan Gilbert.
Ugh. He's on my fantasy
team.
What's
with the ew? He's nasty.
He is. Sorry,
or do we get a George Kirby jersey?
I watched Logan Gilbert's not rehab start, but his first start back from the IL the other day, and I never really.
His mechanics are so awkward.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a fan of his mechanics because his glove. It just looks weird to me because his glove hand comes up so high, and he's not even looking at the plate, and yet he's so good. Like. Imagine if that guy were looking at his target the entire time.
He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to.
He's nasty without it.
The one thing I will say, I love Logan Gilbert because he's so tall and he is so much closer to the plate when he releases compared to other guys. It's so hard to hit him.
It's so fun to watch, man. And that wind tunnel in Seattle. It's that watching pitchers there. Like, I was talking to my friend. He's like, dude, we're going to Seattle. Should I go to a Mariners game? I said, no. He's like, why? And I'm like, you're gonna watch a 2-1 ball game, and you're not a baseball guy, so you're not gonna
won't get any home runs because that park is hard to hit.
Unless Julio or Jorge or Cal decide to beef up. Cal will probably do it, but it's just like, dude, you're getting a 2-1, 3-1 ball game at Mariner Stadium.
Yep.
If you don't like baseball, I feel like a Mariner game is a bad game to go to.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time their offense was really good. Probably maybe the Robbie Cano days.
God.
Those were solid.
You just opened up a Pandora's box of Robinson Cano in my head. The last time I saw him, he was, I think, playing in the Dominican Republic or in the Mexican League, absolutely bashing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, you can like retire. You don't have to play baseball for their sake.
Well, some guys they just keep playing until they
not play.
Yeah, it's in their life. It's in their blood.
Did you catch Shohei's first start?
I did. Actually.
I did not. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw the strikeout, and I saw that he gave up a run.
Well, you say strikeout. He didn't strike anybody out.
Or not
it's interesting because he definitely did get Manny Machado to go. But. I look at it.
I'm glad that we had that.
Yeah.
Because I think it should have.
Yeah, I mean, as a Padre guy, since they're my second team.
Dude, I'm a Manny Machado guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, ew, why? I'm like, I live in L.A.
Sure.
You don't have a second AL team, huh? Are you a big, like, stick one on each side?
Not really.
I just love the Padres, man. I love Tatis. I love Machado.
They're such a fun team.
It's hard not to root for them, especially because I despise the Dodgers.
Yeah. I will never root for them, even though
Shohei's awesome.
Yeah. I looked at his start, and the difference in his mechanics the last time he pitched for the Angels compared to that was very intriguing. He's got now a step. He does a full windup finally. He had never done that. He had always been in the stretch and just doing a little leg kick. And then I looked at a bit more of a deeper breakdown, and he has a shorter leg extension where when his leg is at its peak height, it's not so far out away from his core. His hands are a little different. And those are the mechanics part of it. I think the biggest thing that really scared me is the guy's throwing a 98-mile-an-hour sinker. He never threw that with the Angels.
Why does he have a sinker? Dude, I saw the rehab start.
Yeah.
Or the rehab thing that they did in Dodger Stadium with cameras on but nobody in the stands.
Yep.
And he was just messing around laughing. And then he steps up and he throws a sinker.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, no.
He had been toying with it.
Shohei Ohtani has developed a sinker.
Yeah. He had been toying
baseball.
with it. When he was with the Angels at the very end, he had been working on it, threw it a couple times, but now the guy has a Yu Darvish kind of trajectory with his pitches. He's got the fastball, he's got the sinker, still throws the split. I imagine he'll throw a curveball if he ever needs it, and then he's got the slider, the sweeper.
Yu Darvish and Show have a catalog of pitches.
Yeah.
It's like you're flipping through the TV channels.
Like if you were playing the show, you wouldn't be able to throw all his pitches because they just don't have enough buttons.
L1 and L2 as buttons.
You got to hit two buttons at one time.
That's how you throw That's how you throw his splinker.
Yep. That's another pitch that I'm sure he'll be working on.
Dude, that pitch from Skeens, that is. And you know what? There's one team in baseball that can hit that guy, and it's the St. Louis Cardinals. we haven't lost to him.
That's so weird.
I don't know how we hit him. We're the only team in baseball that hits him consistently.
There's
every time
always
we face
one team that you're just bad against. For the Angels, like, you know, the Mariners never can get Mike Trout out. And then on the flip side, like, whenever Ohtani...
Anyone goes into Angel Stadium. I'm sorry. That was mean. I apologize.
Dang, man. You're the one wearing the jersey.
I like Zach Neto.
Yeah.
But people destroy in that stadium.
Yeah.
I love going to the Angel games to watch away teams. I think that's what being an out-of-state fan is.
Yeah, no,
where it's
no
like,
doubt.
man, Angel games are $10, and I can go watch Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette. By the way, we should do that.
I was planning to go to the game this weekend, actually. It's like $6 a ticket.
Do the Blue Jays play? You guys doing?
Not. I think they've already played.
I think we missed that one.
Yeah, the Angels.
Sad.
The Angels. I remember it. They got a walk-off win against Jeff Hoffman, scoring like 3 in the 9th. Because the Angels apparently are the best 9th inning team in the league this year.
Don't get me started.
They're good. They're clutch.
Our series was crazy to start the year.
Yeah.
Ivan Herrera might be the best baseball player in the world if you only watch that series. Like, if you only watched those 3 games, you would think Ivan Herrera is the best catcher in baseball.
3 home runs against the Angels is just on par. Any random player. Not saying Ivan Herrera isn't good, but never heard of the guy before the Angels took on the Cardinals. And that was just one of those days where I wasn't even watching the game. I'm just checking the updates. I'm
you're just getting texts.
Who is this guy?
You're getting texts from me.
Yes, I believe in a group chat I saw some texts from you. I saw some straight up one-on-one texts from you.
I had to let you know. I mean, I think the second home run I texted you. And I was like, oh, man, Ivan Herrera is just the Angel killer.
And here I was a couple days before, right when that series was about to start, I was saying, just as a joke, the Angels were going to sweep. And I was so ready for a sweep. Just couldn't get it done.
The third home run, it really put the nail in the coffin.
Unfortunately, it did. That was rough.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to do with you is our really, really early reward predictions.
Sure.
Or award predictions, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to... We can start where you want to start.
You know, I want to get the easy ones out of the way and kind of debate on the tougher-ish awards.
Which we've already had some text arguments over one of them.
For sure. I think right now, just because of all the competition and now that he's coming back to pitch, the NL MVP is probably going to be Ohtani again. There is no such thing as voter fatigue in baseball, apparently. And so...
Oh, there is in basketball.
There for sure is in basketball.
Wait till you hear my take on Shea MVP.
Whew. Yeah, so it's probably going to be Ohtani. I could see maybe a guy like Corbin Carroll, if he stays on the pace that he's going with, he could always make a run late in the season. Injuries are always a thing that could happen. Ohtani misses 2 weeks. Something crazy could happen.
I don't think 2 weeks is enough for Ohtani.
Well...
He pitches and hits, dude. It's like dangling the carrot. It's like dangling a carrot in front of a pig.
Yeah.
That's what Ohtani is to baseball.
See, the thing is, he's never gone on the injured list. So...
Yeah, I know. He just...
Guy's just never going to lose.
His arm explodes, and he goes, I guess I'll just hit 40 home runs.
Yeah, why not? So I think for sure he'll be the NL MVP. If I'm looking at the AL side of things, right now you have to think it's Aaron Judge, but you can make the argument for a couple other guys, like Cal Raleigh being a catcher and doing the stuff he's doing is just incredible because the mental toll as a catcher is insane. But moving beyond those two, I can't really see anybody. Maybe a pitcher like Skubal could make a run at it, maybe make a case, but it's too early predictions. You never know.
I think we're on the same path with. I think voter fatigue exists in baseball, but not for Shohei Ohtani, because he is the anomaly. He is the dangling carrot. Mm-hmm. He's the reason you open a CS:GO case. He's the knife. He's the reason you go to the casino because you're gonna hit big. Like, he's the jackpot. Like, you're never gonna get tired of that because you'll never see it again. So I think he will win MVP every year for his whole life. It feels like.
I think the one thing that would have been voter fatigue this year is if he never came back to pitch, because he'd have been hitting 3 straight years. This has been definitely his worst hitting season in the last few seasons,
and Corbin Carroll's absolutely demolishing the ball.
Yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong's been great.
PCA's cool, I guess. I guess he's fine. He's all right.
He's killing it for my fantasy team. I hope he never cools off, ever.
Yeah, I have Shohei on my fantasy team, so I think I'm happy.
Yeah. If I'm moving on to more pitching awards, though, that's where it kind of gets a little difficult for me.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm with you on Judge.
Yeah.
I think it's a no doubt. Dude, he has 6 WAR already.
That's hard to do.
He has 6 WAR already, and it's June.
Well, that you got to think, like, who is the replacement player that you would compare him to?
Barry Bonds.
Well, I meant more like who is the mediocre player that he has 6 WAR.
Oh, no.
6 more wins.
But no, you want to hear something
above.
Crazy? Barry Bonds' best WAR season is 5.
That's really weird.
I don't know. I think Judge is on pace for 6. I don't think he's at 6, but he's on pace for 6 WAR. Barry Bonds' best WAR season, I believe, is 4.8.
Ooh.
F4 is... Judge is on pace for 6, dude.
That's insane.
That's insane. He's yin and yang is Ohtani Judge, man.
I feel bad for anybody that wanted to win an award in the 2020s because it's just kind of been taken up by those two.
I feel bad for any baseball player that thought that they could win an MVP that wasn't named Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani. I'm happy that the Goldschmidt and Arenado year happened while Ohtani was in the AL. That was really cool for me to see 2 Cardinals be the 1 and 2 votes.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And then Ohtani came to the NL, and if you breathe, you have to try to beat those 2 guys for the foreseeable future. And the thing is, it's the foreseeable future because they're both relatively young for baseball.
Aaron Judge is a little bit on the older side. He's now hitting his mid-30s in the next couple years, but the guy has been very, very good the last 3 seasons, and it feels like he just won't stop.
Since he's a Yankee, I'm praying for the Pujols fall-off. But then the comeback.
There you go.
But the thing is, he's just going to go DH and still hit 40 bombs. He's a guy that can play. He could be like, I think he could be like Pujols, like play until you're 42, 43.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys. There's very, very few guys in sports as a whole that I think can do it, and I think he's the guy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Shohei can. I think when Shohei's done, he's done.
Yeah, I agree. It just comes down to how their bodies hold up at this point. But now, moving on to those pitchers, that's where I really want to kind of debate it. I know I mentioned Skubal kind of being the guy who can be an MVP in the AL, but I also got to give props to Garrett Crochet. He signed that big extension. He's just been killing it. Guy almost went the distance against the Yankees the other day. If not for the mammoth home run by Aaron Judge, he would have gotten.
Guess who?
Just talk about him. Go figure.
Dude, just keep talking about Aaron Judge, guys. Let's just do a whole Aaron Judge episode.
Why not? Why not? Let's just break into the metrics.
Yeah.
But I think those two are definitely the ones that are kind of fighting against each other to see who comes out on top. It comes down to maybe a bit of voter fatigue because I know that's a bit more prevalent when it comes to pitchers. You don't see back-to-back Cy Young winners as often just because, one, it's hard to recreate such a good season as a pitcher.
The guy threw a Maddox.
Yeah.
The guy threw a Maddox in the Big 25. That doesn't happen.
It's
dude.
hard to do.
Oh, and by the way, his last pitch of the game was 103 miles per hour.
Scooball is just elite. It's amazing what that guy does.
I agree with you. It's a race, but I think he's a whole horse ahead.
Yeah.
It's just, man, he throws 103. His off speed is so stupid. That changeup is so stupid.
Yeah.
Because you can rear back and throw 103 and then just drop in a little 92 with movement. And then his slider is a thing of beauty.
It's a wipeout.
And it's the same thing with Crochet.
They're very similar.
Very similar pitch mix, but with Scooball, it's like it feels like the ball explodes out of his hand, dude.
Well, he has that interesting finish to his delivery.
Man.
Yeah.
The lefties are fun.
Yeah.
I think that one is tighter than the NL.
For sure. It should be Skeens at this point.
Or Yamamoto. I think those are the top two for me.
I can see Yamamoto, but I need to see how his next month or so goes.
Yes.
He's really struggled the last few starts that he's had. And so you got to know, one, the Dodgers pitching just seems to always get hurt. That's a big problem. But on top of that, if Skeens ever gets run support, it's just going to be a runaway.
He has a sub. It's going to be the Jacob deGrom thing.
Yeah.
He's going to have a sub 2 ERA. He's going to end the year with a sub 2 ERA
and less than 10 wins.
And probably be like 10-10 or 9-9.
I hope he never gets traded because I do like the Pirates.
Oh, I hope he never gets traded because we mash. We win games when he pitches, so he can stay there forever.
Keep him in that division.
I'm not scared of the Pirates. I'm sorry, I'm not scared of the Pirates.
Well, you shouldn't
I will never be scared. There's one team I'm scared of, and oh man, when we get, we're gonna have a fun time. I hate the Cubs. This whole thing that they're doing right now is a facade.
Okay, I like it. Well, then let's just move into it.
Before we get there,
okay.
We both were Skeens. Rookie of the Year is a really interesting race on the NL side. The AL side is lock and key Jacob Wilson. It's not a question
as of right now, for sure.
It's not a question to me. He's absolutely bashing. He doesn't strike out, but he doesn't walk. Have you seen his metrics, dude?
Oh,
They're weird. His swing percentage is so high. Like he does, but his whiff percentage isn't like terrible. He refuses to take a walk, but he doesn't strike out. The guy just makes contact. If you ever, I saw a tweet. It was like watching an A's game is watching Jacob Wilson go 3 for 4 without even thinking about taking a pitch. Lawrence Butler going 3 for 4. The new center fielder making a 1% catch probability, but losing 7-6.
Good old Denzel Clark.
Denzel Clark making a play, but still losing 8-6.
Yeah. It's hard to pitch in that stadium for whatever reason.
It's a minor league stadium.
I get it's a minor league stadium, but
I think the Rays are having the same problem.
Yeah.
But it goes both ways. Hit there.
Out-hit your opponent. It's not that hard.
It's kind of it's baseball. You got to score more than the other team to win.
Yeah.
Teaching that to people's hard. The NL race is more of a throw a dart at a board,
Sure.
I feel like. And my vote right now is different than I think it'll be at the end of the year, but I think Haesung Kim will win.
I was going to say him, but they don't play him enough, so...
But I think by the end of the year he will because he's a pure hitter, man.
He's very good.
Jung-Hoo Lee is my favorite player in baseball, I think, right now. Just the way he plays the game is awesome.
Yeah.
And when they had their series, they were making a big deal about Haesung and Jung-Hoo Lee. And I'm just like, guys, Haesung's going to play one game this series. Because it feels like they only play him against righties.
Yeah, I don't get it. The Dodgers are so analytical.
But they just have so much talent.
That too.
When you have that much talent, bro, it's just like throw the ball out there and see whoever decides to play well. But I get, like, they're so over analytical sometimes, and I think it loses them games.
Yeah. It does occasionally.
I think Dave Roberts manages them out of games a lot, which is why that division is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That division is wild, but
should be a fun summer.
It's gonna be an awesome summer for that division.
Yeah.
And honestly, living on the West Coast is so funny.
You get to stay up and watch all these games.
It's the sickest because New York, it's like 12:45, and it's the 6th inning in a Giants Padres game. And I'm just locked in at 9:45 our time as they're entering the 7th. I'm just like, this is sick.
Let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep
I
going.
love it.
Who else would you say could challenge Haesung Kim?
The NL is so. Who do you have? Because right now I just have him, just because I think that's what it'll end up being.
Yeah.
And the NL rookie scene isn't like.
There hasn't necessarily been a pitcher that stood out. Usually in the rookie scene, you'll see one really good hitter, one really good pitcher. But it's just a bunch of guys that are all kind of fighting to be good.
They're all
nobody's standing out.
They're contributing to good baseball.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like the NL Rookie of the Year doesn't have a standout guy.
Yeah. Haesung Kim, just because we're local,
I think it's the name
biased.
brand for us, man.
Sure.
It's like.
But he doesn't get played enough. So.
But that's my. The reason it's a prediction for me is because I think by midsummer, great movie, they're going to play him more.
Yeah.
I hope they play him more because I think he's a better second baseman.
Yeah.
I think Max Muncy needs DFA'd.
He's been very good since he got glasses. Go figure.
Oh wow, who'd thought? I don't know. That team is just. They're gonna win the World Series.
It's gonna be tough to beat them. The downfall will be
I did my
pitching.
contenders pretenders for fun, fun teams. I did not put an obvious team, and I hope like I was doing that with the MVP. But we'll get into contenders pretenders.
Yeah.
Who is your NL contender?
I like the Giants. They're a team
You're not
that
supposed to say the same thing I have. We're supposed to be on different. Dude, you can't. Go with the Giants, man. You say everything that I was gonna say, and
we
then
just
I'll
always
come
think
up with
on the
another
same.
team.
We're on the same wavelength. That's what it is.
You said. I was like, just don't say Giants. Just say the Mets.
I don't like the Mets. I don't like them at all. They're pitching.
Dude, we can get into that. You don't like. What is it about the Giants? Is it the Devers trade? Do you think that puts them over the hump?
The Devers trade for sure will help. Their lineup, if you ever get Willy Adames going, they're winning without him contributing. That's a big thing. And they've got some good depth. They've got Bryce Aldridge can come up and give a spell to anybody that goes down.
Who is electric out there.
Yeah, I like their system.
Dude, I almost had Logan Webb as my NL Cy Young.
He's been pitching great.
Dude, if Skeens wasn't having a sub-2 ERA, if Skeens was having his last year, where it was like 2.4,
sure,
I think I would have Logan Webb.
Okay.
Logan Webb is nasty, and he's a fun pitcher to watch.
Yep.
Because so I have him in my big money fantasy league that I'm doing terrible in.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I need a late night weekend. I need a late night NL West, AL West guy.
Sure.
I need somebody to watch late night. I saw him on the queue, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be a Logan Gilbert guy. Logan Webb guy. I'm going to be a Logan Webb guy.
For him.
I'm in. He's awesome. That team, and something just feels like it's Willy Adames' locker room presence. It's the hooligans.
Yeah.
There's something about this team that feels different than other years.
Sure.
And I think it's just like, I don't know, you can feel it with these teams. Like, it's like the Dodgers are the big, bad, scary wolf, and like it feels like one of these fun teams that has a cool storyline and a good locker room. If they get going, they can take down the monster.
Yeah.
And in the NL, everyone wants it to be the Mets. I want it to be the Mets because I love Soto and Lindor, and they're so fun.
Yep.
I don't think it's the Mets, man. I don't think they can take down the Dodgers. I don't think they have what it takes.
I look at their pitching, and Griffin Canning has had such a great resurgence, but it's Griffin Canning. He was the worst pitcher. He was up there with names like Patrick Corbin.
This is the Angel fan.
Yeah, he was up there with Patrick Corbin, and you can't rely on a guy like David Peterson. And Kodai Senga's great, but he's been hurt, and you just don't know how he's going to hold up. I like their bullpen. They seem to be a good team, and they have a lot of talent, but it's just coming down to how are you going to attack all these elite hitters? And outside of Kodai Senga being your ace, I suppose, I don't trust the names in that rotation to win me games in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I just don't trust that team to show up at the plate in the playoffs.
Sure.
It's just, I don't know. I love Soto. I love Lindor. Vientos is sick. That team's cool, but it just, something about the Giants feels like they have a chance against the Dodgers way better than the...
Well, one, you're a division rival, and the amount of times you play somebody, it's hard to win so many games in a row. Most division games or division matchups in the playoffs that you see go at least, well, if it's a 5-game series, they go at least 4. If it's a 7-game, they go at least 6. It's hard to win that many games. And so, really, if you're looking at a contender that isn't the Dodgers, I like the Giants. I could also see, if they were to make a run, I like the pitching of the Reds. The Reds are a weird team, and I know, I'm not putting them up there as a contender.
They're like third or fourth in the division.
Yes, if they ever get their offense going, I like their pitching enough.
That's like asking a caveman to start a fire without flint. It's just not gonna happen. They don't hit, bro.
Sure, but I'm just saying,
Reds,
if they ever do, they could be a sneaky good team in the playoffs.
It's okay. You make me upset with that one. I can make you upset later. Because my AL contender is the Seattle Mariners. I think if this team's hitting can figure it out, they have arguably the best pitching staff in baseball.
So you and I are on the same page. It's just our teams need to be hitting.
You picked the Mariners?
No. The Reds. Okay. The Reds take, and then the Mariners. Like, we just need our teams to start hitting. That's it.
Dude, but my thing with the Mariners, like, they're my contender. Like, Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, and George Kirby.
So good.
You know, he had a 6 ERA his senior year of college at Cal Poly Pomona.
Wow.
And he got drafted in, like, the second to last round of the draft just because his stuff was sick and his arm angle's so awkward.
That's all it is.
A team was like, we can fix that. And the Mariners are the team. Dude, he was he was what you're talking about. He was a college reliever. He was a Big West college baseball Cal Poly Pomona, who's not, or no, sorry, not Cal Poly Pomona, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, who's not a good team, really.
It's a very impressive arc that he's been on.
And dude, he's awesome. He's probably one of my favorite pitchers. That pitching staff, if you give me that pitching staff against any AL team other than the Yankees, I'm taking them.
Sure.
Right? Like, man, can Julio and Jorge and Cal and JP lead you there? And it's starting to swing that way. Yeah. That I just think that pitching staff is what does it for me, man. Like, you have to be able to pitch in the playoffs, and they have 3 starters that can be number ones on mediocre baseball teams. And when Brian Woo's your number 3, you're in a pretty good spot. And I think the Mariners are that team. Like, yes, I know we couldn't name their third baseman, but it doesn't matter when you have Big Thumper. If they make a trade, they could be a contender. I wanted them to get Devers so bad. You know who? I want them to come get Arenado. Like, if I'm a Mariners fan, who do I want to go grab that's available at a corner infield spot? Because I don't think Tellez or Williamson are going to get you there. They have to improve their corners. That's the best way. And now Devers is out. I think the next best third baseman is Nolan Arenado, and I think the Cardinals should sell. That was my pretender before we finally went on our downslide. I think they need to go get a corner infielder. Yeah. And I think they're set to make a run in an open AL West. Like, Houston's good. They have really fallen off in terms of pitching, and then the offense isn't as strong as it once was. The Rangers, I'm not... Rangers' offense is a joke. They can't do anything. Angels are the Angels, and the A's are the A's. And I'm going to leave it there and be nice. There you go. Because I'm a good friend. No, I will bash on the Angels as many times as I want. They are not a good team. Their metrics are always in the bottom 10. Their players ranked by FWAR per position. The highest ranked position they have is first base at 12. That is Nolan Shonowell. He's a solid player now. He is not going to carry a team anywhere. He is going to get traded. They have 4 players that are in like the 14 to 16 range
in terms of positional rankings. You've got Mike Trout at DH. Taylor Ward in left field is solid. Zach Neto is a dog, but he's not consistently the best guy yet. And then Nolan Shawnowell. Even Logan O'Hoppy's fallen off.
But also, you can't. It's hard because you had Ohtani and Trout, and what happened? And it's this. It's the.
Yeah.
You can't build around. It's. Artie Moreno is a cheat man. And on that, who's your AL contender?
I've been thinking about this a lot. And if I weren't picking the best team in terms of record, which is the Tigers, I would pick, I think, the Toronto Blue Jays. They're a team that has a very deep lineup. At least they've been starting to hit the ball. I don't like the loss of Varsho. I think that one's going to affect them pretty badly. But their pitching is very good. Alek Manoah, I don't think is coming back, but if you can get that guy back late in the season, he's a good pitcher if they ever figure out his mechanics.
Almost couldn't pitch ever again.
Yeah.
That was a strange time. He had like an 8 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried about his mental health. Like, if he was ever just... I thought he was going to walk away from the game.
Every start, it's just, okay, there's 5 runs.
Well, dude, it's because the pitch clock killed him.
Yeah.
He's the only guy whose career got ruined. Like, when he's one of those guys that you'll see on Twitter in 10 years where it's like, the pitch clock ruined my career. He's going to be that guy. 100%. Sure. But I agree with you. The rest of that lineup's awesome.
Yeah, I was also going to say the Tampa Bay Rays. But the thing about the Rays is they are carried by how analytical they are. Kevin Cash is the best manager through and through. I'll take him over anybody. It doesn't matter what team I've got. Dave Roberts, I don't care.
I don't think he's a good manager. I think you picked the wrong name.
Sure. Agree to disagree.
Do you think he's a good manager? I think he's carried by talent.
I disagree.
I think the reason the Dodgers don't have more than 1.5 World Series in the last...
Oh, you're saying Dave Roberts is a bad manager?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about Kevin Cash. I was Kevin Cash is great.
Kevin Cash is amazing.
No, David Roberts, I don't like David Roberts.
I thought you were saying Dave Roberts was good.
David Roberts, he is a solid manager.
I think he's carried by talent, and I think they would have 4 World Series if they had, like, a good plus manager.
Sure. I think that he's a very good players manager, and it is hard, even with how much talent you have, to win as many games as he has, so... It just comes down to making the wrong move at the wrong time, and he always makes one move just like that once a postseason. And that's really the downfall. But besides
I think that leads to a spiral with them, and then he overthinks every decision after that one, and it throws them out of games.
Yeah.
So Blue Jays.
Blue Jays and Rays, I like both of those.
I'm a big Vlad Bo guy.
Vlad is so good.
Bo's awesome.
Yeah. Pretenders.
I'm excited for Pretenders. Because this is where we're going to upset some people.
I'm going to upset a fan base that has nobody in existence. I don't like the Minnesota Twins. They're pretenders.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
They're just a mediocre team. They had that hot stretch, but I don't like them. What you got for me?
The Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
In the NL are pretenders.
Okay. I need to know why.
The month of, I believe, May, they didn't play a team that was ranked over 18 on the MLB Power Rankings.
Okay.
And they had an unreal month. They had a historic month. Everyone's talking about, like, oh, my God, it's one of the best months in baseball. Yeah, you played the Rockies twice type beat. Like, you played bad teams. I remember... Because me and my brothers talking about it, we're like, man, the Cardinals have such a tough schedule this month, and you get to go look at the Cubs, dude. Oh, man. The month of May was the easiest month of baseball they could have had.
Sure. And,
yeah, they went off. PCA had an unreal stretch, and it's like, dude, you're not playing any teams.
I gotcha.
That are good. You haven't... I want to see them win a series against a team that I believe in. I want to see them go win a series against the Dodgers. The Cardinals did it, and we're bad. I want to see you go win a series against the Dodgers. I want to go see you win a series against the Mets. I want to see you go win these important series. I don't want to see you have a month where you don't play a team that's above third place in their division.
With all due respect, their April, they had one of the toughest Aprils you could think of. They played the Padres a couple times. They played the Dodgers a couple times and beat the Dodgers. So
they did beat the Dodgers.
I'm gonna get you on that one.
But this post May thing, the month of May just ruined me.
I just think you have to beat up on the teams that you play. You gotta take on the competition.
Who's in front of you.
Yeah.
but also my perception of you
Sure.
depends on who you're playing. And the last month, I just saw the whole social media sphere think that this team is so next up, and I just think in a 7-game playoff series, I don't see many teams I would take the Giants over them.
Yeah, okay.
In a 7-game series. I'm taking the Dodgers over them in a 7-game series. I'm trying to think about who's going to win every division. Right.
The loss
and
of
the NL
Justin
East,
Steele.
dude, I think the Mets and the Phillies can beat them in a series.
Easily. The loss of Justin Steele is what does it for me. If they had Justin Steele, they'd probably win the World Series, in my opinion.
No,
they'd go trade for a team or go trade for a frontline starter. Imanaga is the weirdest pitcher because he has a 92 fastball that is so good. They're a good team. I like the Cubs.
I just can't look at that lineup and that pitching staff.
Sure.
It's the pitching staff, dude. It's just like Shota's cool. After Shota, I'm not impressed.
No, I get it.
And I just think in the NL alone, there's 3 or 4 teams I'd rather have. And in the AL, I don't think they're taking out a single division winner in the AL.
Fair.
You know, I
totally get it. I agree.
Like, it's hard for me to believe in that
They don't
team.
have as much depth as they probably should for a team that's getting as much hype as they do.
So you went Twins with your AL pick. Who's your NL pick?
Yeah, my NL pick, hard to say. I really don't want to say the Padres. I think I have to say the Padres. Their bottom 3 in the lineup is just atrocious right now. You're running out Jose Iglesias, Tyler Wade, and then the platoon of Martin Maldonado and Elias Diaz.
Can I be honest with you?
Go ahead.
I was watching a Padres game for like the first time a couple weeks ago, and I went, Martin Maldonado's still in the MLB?
I couldn't fathom it when they signed the guy. I looked at my phone, I saw the notification, and I said to myself, how on earth is this guy playing baseball still? One, I'm not a fan of him throughout his entire career.
Dude, and you get, like, Jose Iglesias still plays baseball, guys?
Jose Iglesias, he had a solid year last year.
Yeah, but it was the, like...
He had the momentum. Everybody thought he was a star, so he played like a star. This year, he didn't bring the OMG thing to San Diego until, like, 3 weeks ago. And so now he's just trying to get some mojo back, but it's not there.
Dude, Martin Maldonado being on a baseball team, is that a sign of the recession? Recession sign? Martin Maldonado's on my baseball team?
We need more catchers, dang it.
There's a baseball recession, and it's at the catcher position, dude.
Honestly, it really is.
I think so. I don't think there's like 3 good defensive catchers in baseball.
Defensive catchers for sure. Patrick Bailey is immensely...
Also hitting catchers. You got like 2 of them.
Real Muto, since he's declined the last 2 years, that's really
the catcher position is not. It's leaving a lot to be desired.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's a good segue into All-Stars.
I have my.
You're right. You're right. Give me your pretender. What do you got?
The Detroit Tigers.
What don't you like about the Detroit Tigers?
There's just something stinky there.
Is it their pitching? Is it their bullpen? The lineup?
I just don't feel like this is a World Series team.
Okay.
They need a piece. As of right now, they need a piece.
Sure.
The bullpen's fine. I think there's to be desired at a spot in the rotation, and I don't think they're a bat away.
Yeah.
But I think if they went and got a bat, oh man, because Kerry Carpenter's dope.
Yeah. But he doesn't play against lefties.
Yes.
That's
Javi Baez is having a resurgence year. The team is fun, and it's. I think it's the team that America's gonna rally behind, because I feel like every playoff run there's a team that like, my team's out. Who are we gonna root for? And I think Scooball being as cool as he is, and this team having a lot of random unknowns in a sense. Like, not many people know Riley Green.
Sure.
I love Riley Green, but not many people know Riley Green.
Yeah.
I think they're missing that it factor. Like I've always said this, like, think about the last 10 World Series teams. They always have a guy hitting wise. And for them, who's their name brand household name hitter?
Yeah. That's a good point.
And I just like Shohei for the Dodgers.
They don't have a through and through star.
Yes.
Totally understand.
Other than Scooball, I don't think your star can be your ace. I think that was the Dodgers' problem for a very long time, and I think that's why they didn't win more World Series.
Sure.
I of course I did the Dave Roberts blaming, but it's like, who was their it factor hitter guy for those years? Like Matt Kemp was cool, Agon was cool.
Yep.
In those years after, it was always Kershaw.
Yeah.
With like, hey, Puig's dope.
Corey
Hey,
Seager
we traded
is nice,
for Machado.
but
We
he's
traded for
young.
Seager.
Yeah.
Seager had his moment with the Rangers, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Where he was that. But I'm saying, like, has an it guy.
Sure.
I just don't see that with him. I don't see an it guy offensively. Like, yeah, 10 years ago it would have been Javi Baez.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here real quick and say one example that could show the Tigers could win it all is that 2015 Kansas City Royals team. Eric Hosmer, very solid bat. Mike Moustakas,
Salvi.
solid bat. Locane, very good defender, solid bat. Pitching was
out
like,
of this world good.
I think they traded for Johnny Cueto, and that was it.
The bullpen was out of the world.
That was the one thing.
Was it Joaquin Soria?
Yes,
He was
I
their
believe he
setup
was
guy?
there. Wade Davis. I think both, actually.
Has Wade Davis played for more baseball teams than I've gone to baseball games?
Yes.
I feel
yes,
like he's
he
played
has.
on a ton of teams, bro.
Yeah. But that's an example that for sure kind of tells you, hey,
And the Cardinals in 2011, if you want to go farther back, there are teams where it's like your star.
yeah,
Like, yeah, you had Pujols on that, but that team snuck in
Sure,
to the
sure, sure.
playoffs. Man, I don't know. I think that's what I think they're missing that bat. I think if they got Devers, they would have instantly slid in where that Mariners spot is.
yeah,
Because I did the spot for fun, like, you know, like, but I want to do the pretenders, like, for real, like, contending teams that
Yeah.
I don't think are going to do it.
mm-hmm.
To wrap the show up, I wanted to talk about our All-Star voting.
yeah.
And I want to know who you have on both sides.
You know, the Devers trade really throws it for a loop. He was
Yeah.
going to be my starting, I guess, DH in the American League. But now that he's gone, he's not winning it over Shohei Ohtani. That's just impossible to do. If I were to go rapid fire real quick, I think I'm going to go AL catcher. I need to think about the list real quick. It's not going to be Salvador Perez. That guy's had a rough year. I'm just going to go with my names.
I cheated. I wrote mine down.
Oh, did you now?
I have
all
it
right.
on the
all right.
notepad. I cheated.
Catcher's a tough position for me, so I'll save that for last. I'm going to go around the horn as best as I can. First base, Jonathan Aranda
Ooh.
from the Rays. He's not getting as much love as he should. Second base is so weak. I think on name value alone, Jose Altuve, because he's listed there for whatever reason.
Why is he
He'll
listed
probably be
there?
that guy. But I could also see some other position being moved over there. I don't know. But I'll say Altuve just because I have nobody else to really think of. Shortstop is such a difficult position to pick. If you asked me this a week ago, I'd have said Zach Neto. I'd have given him love. Now I think it's going to come down to probably Bobby Witt. Kind of hard to see anybody else in terms of name value that can win it over him. But you never know. That's always an interesting position, and we're still a couple weeks out. Outfielders, name value alone, Mike Trout will get in because he's Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge is a lock.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I were to pick another outfielder, I like Riley Green. I think top player, he's going to have a good chance of getting it.
I'm a big fan of Riley Green.
Yeah.
I've had him in fantasy the last 3 years waiting for this,
Okay.
and it finally happened.
Yeah. And then if I were to go back to catcher, Yainer Diaz would have been a good pick to start the year. He's not been very good. Really hard to say who my catcher will be. You know what? I was totally forgetting Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, I'll say big thumper.
You're so-
big thumper.
That's on me. That's on me on that one.
You got there.
Yeah. Took me a while. Because catchers, we mentioned it. There aren't many good catchers, so totally blanked on them.
And then Scooble's going to start, I'm guessing, for you.
Him, well, if he were fully rested, then yes. If not, Crochet. If not them, then you're kind of getting into the who's going to do it.
But I think those two will be the top two vote getters.
Yes.
And I think
well,
that's-
they don't vote really for pitchers, so it's just coming down to who the manager picks.
Yeah, but you're going to pick your best guy.
Yeah.
If they're rested. It's all on rest, but I think Scooble should start.
Yep.
So that's where I'm going to start my list.
Sure.
I have Big Dumper.
Okay.
I have Ladd at first. He has a 902 OPS.
It's a good
man.
pick.
He's absolutely
Can't go
destroying
wrong
the
with
ball.
whoever you pick
He's
at first.
awesome. Second base is the worst position in baseball in the AL. I went Gleyber Torres.
Sure.
I think he's having a nice year. I think the name of being a former Yankee is like gonna help him too.
And he's on the best team.
And he's on the best team. Third base is Jose Ramirez. He is.
You know, I didn't even say a third baseman.
Oh yeah,
that was going to be my pick. I think is Jose Ramirez.
He's just so switch hitter, both sides of the plate, making the Guardians a relevant baseball team, which they haven't been like their whole lives.
Yeah.
But he's awesome. He's great. I have Jacob Wilson at shortstop.
Okay, sure.
That was me as a fan of him doing that. Just like I like the I swing at everything but don't strike out thing. I think that's cool. He's been awesome. Bobby Witt's going to get in on name, but I think Jacob Wilson should be the AL starting shortstop.
I can get behind that.
Outfield, I have Judge, Riley Green, I'm with you, and I have Julio.
Okay.
And then I have Trout at DH.
Yeah.
I think that's how I would do that. I think 3 outfielders and then let Trout get his pity vote in a sense at DH.
I don't know who my DH would be. I was going to say
maybe Ben
mentioned.
Rice. He's been bashing.
Maybe. You know, I think it's Mike Tauchman.
Yeah.
Of the White Sox. That guy's been getting a lot of love for whatever reason.
He will be the White Sox vote in.
True.
I
hope he is a starter.
Every team gets one guy.
Yeah.
I think he'll be their guy.
I hope he's the starter. Give them some love. Give the White Sox some love.
I'll run NL first.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have Skeens on the bum.
Sure.
Duh.
Yep.
I'm going to have Will Smith at catcher.
Okay.
It's so hard to not pick a Dodger.
Yeah.
At every position. I tried to stray away and pick the obvious positions. I just think he's the best NL catcher right now. Pretty simple. I didn't go Freddie Freeman. I went Pete Alonso.
Oh.
That month he had was awesome. I think Pete Alonso's great. I think the Mets are awesome. I think him having this year is what is pushing this team to what it should be. Where it's like if Pete Alonso plays like this, they can win a World Series.
Yeah.
Is what a lot of people said.
Sure.
And now he's playing like Pete Alonso, and they are a World Series contender.
Yeah.
Where they're not on our contenders list because we're making it more fun. Like we know the top 2 is Dodgers, Mets, and in the AL it's probably Tigers, Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Like second base, I went Brendan Donovan.
All right.
How could I not?
Gotta pick your team. Gotta go with.
So you think he's gonna play like all 9 positions, or do you think he's gonna get like one at bat and then chill?
It's gonna be like Will Ferrell.
Dude, if there's any player who could do it, it's him.
Yeah.
He can play any position. I've seen him play short, first, third. So I've seen him play every position but catcher pitcher.
Sure.
In a Cardinal uniform, and I just think that'd be hilarious for him to play 7 of the 9 positions in an All-Star game.
Yeah.
They would never do it, but man, would that be hilarious. Manny Machado at third.
Okay. It's
He's
a good pick.
just been absolutely destroying the ball.
Yeah.
He's the name brand that we talk about with this. Shortstop, I have Lindor, name brand Met. Probably going to be Mookie.
Okay.
But I just think Lindor's had a better year.
It's hard to pick against the Dodgers
Yes.
in terms of voting these days. Like the New York brand is very good, and I think for sure it really helps you out at times when it comes to pushing your name. And Lindor, he was great last year, but he had a slow start this season, and so it's going to be hard to overtake Mookie, even if Mookie's been struggling a little bit like he has.
Exactly. Outfield, I have PCA.
Okay.
That one hurt to write down.
You had to
But
pick
you
him.
have to.
He's been very, very good.
Juan Soto,
Okay.
name brand Met. I have Corbin Carroll, MVP candidate, and then DH Shohei. I think the NL is kind of a little more wishy-washy.
It's cut and dry a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, cut and dry. It's like, where it's just like, you kind of know who's going to play every position, so I tried to put in a couple fun ones.
Yeah.
But
if I were to go with my NL team, I can't pick against Freddie Freeman just because guys hitting above 330, you don't see that too often these days. But if I were to pick somebody else, the first base position is loaded in the NL. Like Matt Olson's been good. You've got guys like Josh Naylor. He's had a couple clutch moments the last couple weeks. So, it's got to be Freeman, but I could see anybody winning it if Freeman gets hurt or if there's a down week for any of these guys. You just never know. Looking at second base, I do like Brendan Donovan. That guy's very good. I kind of have to go with one of 2 guys, though. Either Ketel Marte or even Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil he's had an 869 OPS. Guy's been good on a very, very nice Mets team. So,
no, the battery died. We'll finish audio.
Sure.
We'll finish audio only.
You can always cut it up.
It said camera exhausted.
Yeah. You can always cut it up and just put it on top of like
I'll probably just
our
put
picks.
our picks
Yeah.
side by. I'll put half yours on one side, one on my side.
I like it. If I were to go with any type of National League third baseman, it's going to be tough to take over Manny Machado, guys hitting over 300. Matt Chapman has a case. Could certainly go with him, but I think I'm with you there. It's Manny Machado.
Yeah, it's just hard at the third base position to not go Machado.
Yep.
With how good of a year he's had. Just that Padres team is contending in a really tough NL West.
Yeah.
And I also agree with you on Cattell. It's going to be Cattell, but I'm a homer, so
Sure.
I had to go Donovan.
Here comes the tough position for me is that shortstop spot. I don't like Francisco Lindor or Mookie Betts, even though they're the top 2 vote getters. I can't pick them. I don't think they're worthy of being starters for shortstop.
That's crazy.
Especially because Mookie Betts isn't a shortstop. He's defensively a liability at times.
Liability?
At times. And so I'm not going to kind of follow the double standard and be a little hypocritical by saying I like Ellie De La Cruz, but I like Ellie De La Cruz. I think it's either him or Trey Turner. Those are the 2 guys that I really want to see get the position. And then when it comes to other spots like catcher and the outfield, catcher's tough. William Contreras was good last year, but I like Goodman of the Rockies. That is my guy.
That's so crazy.
He should be the starting catcher for the National League in the year 2025.
And you know what, Peter? I think that's where we're gonna end the episode.
Oh, you can't even hear my outfield.
Okay. I got.
You got it. You got to hear.
That's why I cut you off.
I will go back to Goodman later on.
Yeah, I got to hear your case for Goodman.
Yes. Going to my outfield, Corbin Carroll for sure. I like Tatis, but his last month and a half has been so bad, I can't go with him. Teoscar Hernandez is a name that could maybe sneak in as a Dodger, but kind of hard to pick him. Jackson Merrill, if he hadn't been hurt with that hamstring and now his concussion, I would have picked him. In a heartbeat, I would have picked him. But you look at other guys, Andy Pages is a name that I think could maybe make it. I
love that.
I have to go, I think, right now, Corbin Carroll, Andy Pages, and then PCA. Those are my 3.
That's a fun 3. You did this on both the AL and NL with the absolute worst teams in baseball.
I gave them love.
These guys are going to be
Give me starters. Give me starters for these guys.
That's all they're going to have this year anyways. Like, these teams aren't good. They're not going to win anything.
Yeah.
Might as well give them a starter in the All-Star game.
See them in the first couple innings. Get them out of there. Let them have their moment.
Well, unfortunately, fans will be able to see this dap. But thank you for coming on, man. It was fun. It was awesome.
This has been great.
If you want to follow Peter on anything at the beginning of the episode and end of the episode, we're gonna have your little ats on screen. We'll do that for me as well.
I try and post whatever I can when it comes to what I'm doing at work. Mostly LinkedIn is where you can find my fun.
LinkedIn is where you can find. Hey, we're gonna show some of your clips as well. I'll show them at the beginning and the end. I'll be nice. We're gonna have fun.
I like it.
Thank you for coming on. Those fun first episode of Chop It Up. I think this is a fun idea.
Yeah.
Might have to rein it in a little. We went kind of long. We went an hour 20.
That's just what you have to do is you just ramble.
You ramble.
You ramble a little bit. But
next time we gotta add a pitch clock.
Add a pitch clock. Oh man, it's gonna be like PTI, pardon the interruption, where you have like a 5-minute timer per topic.
Did you see they got rid of the
Around the Horn?
Around the Horn?
Yeah, so sad.
Dude, that was my dream, was to be on Around the Horn when I was a kid.
I mean, us kind of being in the world of, I guess, journalists.
It was a possibility.
Yeah, it was always
and then
up there.
They took it away from us.
Oh well. Hopefully they bring it back somewhere else.
That'd be crazy. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, guys. Peace.
Take care.